single time.
To the
1-2,
pundits.
1-2.
To the pundits, man. Hey, yo, Keys, you ready, man?
Let's get it.
Get on your feet, Tiger fans. Let's get loud. Let's go. Let's get active. Let's go.
Yo, yo, yo. It's your boy, Be Easy.
It's your boy V Keys, and this is
You Played Though podcast. Man, Keys, man, we had a rough weekend, man. A little rough weekend.
Yeah, college football wise, it's a little solemn for us. This Monday, and I got plenty to say. We got plenty to say. Got plenty to dive in. We got some quotables from Davo.
Quotables.
It's a lot to get into, man. So we're gonna dive into that and just a wild weekend in general for college football.
A lot of good games, a lot of upsets, and man, Clemson was not on the favorable end of that. But we're gonna get into it. All right, Keys. So before we start talking about the challenging weekend that we had down there in Death Valley.
The debacle in Death Valley.
The debacle in Death Valley. That's gonna be the title, brother. Yeah. Debacle in Death Valley. Let's talk about some of these games. Let's talk about some of these other games, man, because there was a lot of good games. It was a very fun-filled college weekend. So let's start off with Oregon and Michigan. We both didn't think Michigan had a chance in this game.
Nah.
And it proved to be that.
Not a game. Next.
Yeah.
No challenge.
All right, so this game, they definitely, I think Florida covered the spread, but, man, they had a game down there in Jacksonville. Number 2 team took on Florida. It's a rivalry game, and Georgia came out on top.
Yeah, I did mention. I was like, hey, not so fast. I hit you with the lead Corso last episode. You think Georgia's going to run away? Beck played terribly, had 3 picks, 3 bad picks, too. They got a couple big plays late in the running game, and they got a pick off Florida quarterback, and Florida's first stringer got hurt. So Florida actually played, they played well enough to win the game, made some mistakes down the stretch. But Georgia, they're sitting at number 2, but it was not a
man, and it's evident
performance at all.
It's evident when you're looking at some of these games and just breaking it down, you see that, yeah, they're the number 2 team, but you see the vulnerability. They can be beat, right? But,
and Beck is not looking like a Heisman, nothing, not even a first round pick. I mean,
it looked like he regressed this year just from that. But we'll see, man. We'll see what happens with in the SEC. But let's go over to the Big Ten, man. One of the matchups every year. It's a big matchup. It's talked about every year. But one team is always on the losing end of that. Penn State at home against Ohio State. I don't know if they've ever beaten them. I don't know if they've ever beaten them. 2016?
Yep.
So, man, James Franklin is 1-13 against top 5 teams. What do you got to say about this one, man?
Is it time to go?
I mean, the question has to be asked.
Is it time to go? I mean, we saw James Franklin, get into it with a fan briefly at the end of the game. It's just not a good look.
Yeah.
I mean, I know emotions are running high, but as a coach, don't get involved with the fans, man. There was a guy that came down. He's like, "Well, state your name if you want to be man. You want to be man." Like, nah.
Yeah, we'll drop that clip, but
yeah, that ain't it, James Franklin. And it might be time. It might be time, man. If you can't beat Michigan or Ohio State. Michigan sucks this year. But clearly this is your best chance to get Ohio State. They're not Ohio State of the past. They're not even that great of a team. But 20-13, it was a whiteout and had game day, had everybody hyped, but nope, you fell on the lights again.
Yep.
So you're always little brother.
Once again. Duke, they took care. I mean, not Duke. Miami took care of business against Duke, 53-31, as expected.
And the Miami was really not impressive most of this game. They were trailing the third quarter. Duke just made a comedy of errors, horrible fumble. I mean, it was just ridiculous stuff they was doing. So.
And Miami always seems to be crawling back in the fourth quarter and just have a fourth quarter explosion to win the game, man. Cam Ward, they're talking about him being a Heisman, being one of the Heisman candidates, but to me, he just plays a little too freely, a little undisciplined for my take. But he's a heck of an athlete.
He had 400 yards and 5 touchdowns, but that really don't tell the whole picture because he was just throwing some stuff, and one of the touchdowns got deflected. I mean, just luckily, you know what I mean? It was just. I didn't come away from that terribly impressed, but they still put up 53 in a win.
Yeah. Tennessee, they took care of Kentucky. 28-18. But the storyline probably of the weekend, especially in Columbia, down there at Williams-Brice, South Carolina, and I think I may have called this. You may have called this. South Carolina upset number 10 Texas A&M, who was thought to be the powerhouse right now in the SEC outside of Georgia at number 10. They kind of blew them out, man.
They manhandled them boys. 24-0 second half. Mm-hmm. I didn't call the upset, but I think I said I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina kept it close, but they didn't keep it close. They ran it up. So that's a huge win. This is probably, I think by far, this has been my biggest win by far so far in his career.
Yeah.
Beat number 10 at the crib, but so suddenly, with the developments of this past weekend, unfortunately, they're looking pretty formidable.
They're looking
right now. I mean,
very formidable.
If we're looking like that against a Louisville team that we're about to get into, that's a huge win.
But South Carolina has a really good resume because they got some good losses. I mean, I know it's losses, but they're good losses, right? You lose to Alabama close. You lose to LSU. You should have won that game. And you end up getting over the hump and beating Texas A&M. If I'm looking apples to apples, they're looking like a really good team out here, man. Another top 15 team to go down. Iowa State lost against Texas Tech. I don't know much about Texas Tech, but I did think Iowa was maybe better on paper than they actually are on the field.
Yeah, Iowa State, Texas Tech, they won in like the waning last few seconds. I mean, they drove right down the field. Iowa State showed zero resistance, kind of like another team that we will talk about shortly on the defensive side of football. But Iowa State, they dropped, and we were tied with them at number 11, but we both lose.
Yeah,
tied at number 11. So
they were close. We lost handily. So I mean, so just to touch on another team is a newcomer to the ACC. They had a matchup against number 18 Pitt. SMU rolls Pitt 48-25. Is it time to put some respect on SMU's name?
Yes, that's a big win. I had them winning this, but not like that. And, the way Pitt just came off a blowout win over Syracuse. So SMU is looking strong. So right now, they control their own destiny. They got 3 conference games left, and they're all very winnable. They got Boston College, Syracuse, and I believe Virginia left. So if we said there's a possible slip up. Well, excuse me, Cal. So Boston College, if they can at least make it interesting, Clemson has to win out. Miami has to lose. Miami and SMU have to lose one conference game for it to be some kind of chaos. So you just hate to be in that position where you can depend on somebody else to lose one.
And we'll get into that. Dabo had some comments, as well. But we're looking at Army, man. Army remained undefeated. They played Air Force. Air Force, they're 1-7. So it's
kind of wild. Army 8-0.
8-0. Yeah.
And they rank higher than us.
When the last time anybody said that?
Not in our lifetime. I guarantee that.
I don't know, man. But so it was a very good college football weekend, and we're gonna go ahead and get into what happened down there in Death Valley against the Louisville Cardinals at home. Night game at home. I think I can't remember what the record is, Keys, but it's been a long time since Clemson has taken the L at home.
22-0 in our last 22, and the L before that was 2013. Florida State went on to win the Natty that year. But yeah, this is you played though, and we talk Clemson football. But what we're gonna do is talk the good, the bad, and the ugly. And Saturday night was ugly, and we're not scared to dive into the ugly and criticize who needs to be criticized.
Yeah, there's a lot of work that needs to be done, a lot of things that need to be addressed, man. But just want to give a clip real quick of Coach Sweeney talking and addressing the media after the game.
We did not play anywhere near our best tonight, and it hurts. It's a missed opportunity, huge missed opportunity, and we didn't deserve to win. They absolutely deserved to win. We did not. So you got to give them all the credit. We looked like a very poorly coached team tonight, and that's on me. Simple as that. Just incredibly disappointed with our performance tonight, and I thought our fans were awesome. It was another great environment, and we really missed an opportunity.
All right, so that was Coach Sweeney addressing the media after the game, and some of the things that he was talking about, Keys, about being unprepared after a bye week, right? 2 weeks. How do you feel? How do you feel about the comments, and do you feel like just the way we looked as a team that we took Louisville as serious as we should have?
No. This is the most unprepared I've seen since the Duke game last year. Or pick a 2023 L, and this is what that looked like, if not worse. But came out the gates, first possession was, we couldn't get any traction, and it was just like no momentum, even from the first two possessions. Just offensively, we were just slow, and then their first possession, they pick up a couple first downs. I think they ended up punting, but they had a little bit of momentum,
Mm-hmm.
But coaching wise, yeah, he said it. That's on coaching. That falls on me. There's no excuses. We get it. Are we trying to hear that? No.
Yeah. And like everyone wants to say, is like, look at the numbers, right? Phil had a monster game, right? A season high 171, but on the other end, we let Isaac Brown, their running back, he ran for 151. I think he's a true freshman, or he's a freshman.
Yeah,
and
freshman.
he had a career night. And when you can't stop the run, you open up down the field passing. Like you made this comment on several podcasts. This is some of the poorest tackling that you have seen from a Clemson team in a long time. And it was evident. Peter Woods, he got hurt, right? So he got pulled. And one thing I want to say is, it's evident that we don't have the depth at defensive end because we're not getting any pressure. We're not getting any pressure on the quarterback. He had time to make decisions. The run game was working. That's something that has to be addressed.
Yeah, you brought it up. I think after the Wake Forest game where we're just not getting any pressure. Even the Monte K part went out a couple times. So our depth is really lacking along the defensive front, which we haven't seen defensive line lack depth in years.
Yeah.
Because we kind of D-line university too. We put them in, pull them out,
Mm-hmm.
put them to the lead. You know what I mean? So, and something else I do want to say. I think I mentioned this early in the season as far as Brent V had to fire. Brent V had to get back coach.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Tiger fans. Tiger legend out here, Pigskin Pete. He does State of the Tiger fans on YouTube. I'll give him a quick shout out because he said something that resonated, and it's something I was thinking about too. But he was like, how sometimes your team they take on the personality of the coach.
Yeah.
You heard that expression. So Wes Goodwin, you look at him, bro. Like, first of all, he's never played anything. He looks like he has like no emotion. Don't know him personally. They may love him, cool, but I want to see some fire though.
Yeah.
I want to see some. You don't have to have a get back coach, but
especially defensively though.
Yeah,
you gotta have attitude.
He has the makeup of a special teams coach or something. Like, bro. If you coaching the defense at Clemson University, coming after Brent V, coming after the best defense we had in the history of the program, like, you need some fire about yourself.
Yeah,
you need some fire in your pants. He don't got that, and we're seeing this. There's zero adjustments. The defensive line is terrible at stopping the run. The tackling is terrible.
Yeah,
I can go down the line.
When I look at it, there was a lot of long runs down the field. I can't really blame the secondary too much, man, because we're just not getting any pressure. But one thing that you brought up is the game plan. I feel like, honestly, we came out there with a game plan, and we didn't have there was no adjustment, right? There was no, okay, this is the game plan that we're running, and this is what we're sticking to. When we got down to the fourth quarter, and we're still running the ball with Phil Maffa, I'm like, we don't have time for this, right? We didn't start to hurry up until 4 minutes.
And that's another thing. The clock management was about the poorest I've seen in a long time. Like, we're down, what, 3 scores?
Yeah.
At least 2 scores, and we're sitting there huddling up. Like,
we had
wait
a
till
16
2 seconds left on the clock. I mean, horrible.
The last drive we scored on, I think we had like 16 plays. And to me, one thing that me and Keys, we continue to harp on, we continue to praise this team about is we have so many weapons on offense, right? And when you're in a position where you can't protect, either Cade is making rush decisions or the line does not give him enough time to make those decisions, to get these playmakers involved, it's an issue, right? And I don't know the story with Tyler Brown, right? Like, is he going to be available, right? Peter, has he even really been healthy this entire time, right? Because I could even point to T.J. Parker, right? Like,
I mean,
to have the talent that he has, I have not heard his name enough.
so you know what? Speaking of Matt Luke, we've been praising him all year. As an offensive line coach, he has more fire in him than Wes Goodwin, who's a DC. So, and I don't care what team, what level, that shouldn't happen, man. I don't care. Everybody, the intensity should be at least equal across the board. I know everybody got different personalities, but Wes Goodwin just is not it. And this defense, I mean, it showed we played subpar teams, but this is a team who put up some points and it has an offense. So,
looking at how they played Miami, they had a high-powered offense. They had an opportunity in that game, right? But yeah, I mean, you definitely want to see an attitude. You definitely want to see an attitude adjustment because we play lethargic, right? And I think that's, to your point, coming from the tone at the top, from the coaching staff. If you're lethargic and it's okay, we better luck next time. That's not the attitude you have as a championship team. And
and also special teams was again atrocious. 2 block kicks that we get one of those kicks. We could have got at least a little bit of momentum. It's a manageable two score game with we got some time left. All right, not a lot of time, but it's time. All right, if we get an onside kick or if we just get the stop on D, but no. And we had 2 kicks by the Florida State game, and now this. So to me, I already said that 4 block kicks in the season, somebody got to go. Special teams wise, I don't know what y'all doing.
And I like Nolan because from a kicking standpoint, we had problems last year in the kicking game. You address it with the kicker, but special teams, you're right. You can't get those blocks. I don't know what our identity is as a team. We used to hang our hat on our defense, right, and then make explosive plays downfield, but we didn't get there were no sacks, no takeaways,
0.
Like, and I'm not saying you have to have that to win. But what I'm saying is, when you're down, your defense got to step up. Brent V would always, and I'm not gonna say it's Brent V who's doing it, but we've always had the playmakers. Hey, we need it, right?
Yeah,
you gotta have it.
So, and then speaking of that, there was nothing even close to a sack. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I mean, he was just back there just chilling. You know what I'm saying? But and another point, a good point that I've heard too is our championship teams of 2016, 2018, like that whole. Yeah, the offense, we had some great players. The Trevors, I mean, generational.
Yeah.
But them defense, we had championship defense. You know what
exactly.
I mean? And we had playmakers that played. They understood their gap assignments. Understood all this, and that comes from your leader. You can have, and talent-wise, we got, Avion, who may be potential first-round corner. Peter Woods, potential first-round defensive tackle. K. Park could develop maybe to a top 2-round pick.
Yeah.
Barrett Carter, who was supposed to be a first-round pick, but he's regressed this season. We got the talent on paper to be like a 2016-ish, 2017-ish kind of defense, but it's as poorly underperformed.
And one thing with the climate change in college football, Keys, when you have a game like this, you have student athletes in high school right now that's looking at, okay, I got offers from all these schools and I want to ball out, right? I like the way Clemson is playing. I'm interested in Clemson, and you lay an egg like this, and it puts you out of the playoffs. These teams these kids are now, this is their job. They're treating it as a job when they coming in. So it's like, hey, I need to go to this school or that school because I want to be on the biggest stage. I want to give myself the best opportunity to get drafted, right? And hey,
Yeah. Well, I'll say potentially out the playoffs. I'm not going to all the way shut the door, even though, we get emotions and, the first reaction, oh man, we ain't going to do nothing. We're not going to make it. I mean, we still have a chance, but it's the fact that we have to depend on, we don't control our own destiny. So that you never want to be in that situation.
Well, not only that, I'll add to that. I want the Tigers to play good football. You know what I mean? Playoff bowl game, regardless of what it is to take these next 3 games and ball out. Right? Let's not play with our food, man.
Yeah, we gotta we start off November with a dud. So we got Virginia Tech next week. We can preview that shortly.
Mm-hmm.
Then we got at Pitt. We got the Citadel. Then we got the Gamecocks.
Yeah.
So this is all of a sudden November's kind of like looking like Murderer's Row after that performance. I'm like, hold on, because we're looking at them games before, like Virginia Tech. Oh, we get a Pitt.
Yeah.
But now, yeah.
But you know what? One thing that I will say that you don't want to lose a conference game. You don't want to lose a conference game, right? Especially when you got teams in the conference that are undefeated. However, when after we lost to Georgia, I feel like something clicked and everybody was like, "Hey, we gotta make it happen." But I don't know. From a game planning standpoint, I got to see better coaching, man. I cannot really put this on the players. Players need to make plays, but from a scheme standpoint, we didn't look like we were even in the same. We didn't look like we could compete.
Like I said, we talked about it. Every single game seemed like there was no containment on the edge. You got guys out there running wide open, like they playing hide and go seek. They just playing red light, green light at their grandmama house, like we used to do as kids. I mean, they running around, and you just can't have that, man. So we need to see market improvement when we go out to Blacksburg this Saturday for a 3:30 kickoff, or some of the same can happen. So what's a couple things that that you're gonna look for out of this Virginia Tech game, man?
One thing I want to look for out of this Virginia Tech game is some disciplined play on the defense, from a defensive standpoint, getting pressure to the quarterback. Right, I want to see the D line actually. We need to get sacks, and when I say sacks, I mean, at least 1 or 2 sacks and a lot of hurry ups. Make the quarterback make decisions. It's just.
I'm laughing because I'm like, it's funny you say, man, can we get at least 1 sack? And then I'm thinking about 2017 Auburn game where we had 11 sacks. 11. Austin Bryant, Dexter, like Chris, 11 sacks in one game,
man.
And we out here. I don't think we got 11 sacks for the season.
I don't know, man.
I don't know
because I mean, if you look at it on paper, it's gonna be bad. But I mean, again, Phil had a great game. We're using him as a workhorse, but when you get into a game when you're down 2 or 3 scores, you gotta change it up.
You gotta air. I mean, I know they're playing some safeties, but you gotta find something that's gonna work.
Yeah,
nothing worked. But yeah, Virginia Tech is still they're a formidable opponent obviously after what we showed, and now we got film, and now that's okay.
Yeah,
this how you defend that? They was going out here 50 points a game, and they doing all this. Oh, this how you defend it? All right.
Yeah, teams are definitely exploiting our weaknesses, but we're a 6.5 point favorite against Virginia Tech. We slid down to number 19, so like you said, our fate is in our hands. So we'll see how that goes.
You gonna go ahead and throw the score prediction out for the people?
Oh man, you know what? I think after a game like what we've had, we're going to at least score 35 to 40 points. So I'm gonna give it 42. 42-28.
42-28 Tigers. I'm gonna regress a little bit. I'm gonna come down on the score. I think we win in Blacksburg.
Mm-hmm.
30-21. I mean, if can we get 30 now? Like the way we look, like we struggle to get 21 at the crib. At home, when we're in primetime night games where we don't lose.
Yeah.
And so
Virginia Tech played Miami pretty close. So
Blacksburg is a pretty tough place to play as well. So I think we kind of Maffa muffle them out a little bit in the fourth quarter and, and stretch it out a little bit, 30-21.
Yeah. 30-21?
Yeah.
Okay.
Tigers.
All right. Establish the run and then open up the pass game. All right, Keys. So just looking at what some of the slates for next week or for this week. Man, college football going by so fast, man. You got Miami at Georgia Tech. We need Georgia Tech to get this win to help us out.
Yellow Jackets, hey, do you big one?
Yeah.
As they say. Come on now.
Yeah. Miami's 11-point favorite. Georgia Tech, they started the season with that big win in London against Florida State, but they're 5-4.
And you know what? I'm picking Georgia Tech. I'm gonna go with the Yellow Jackets.
I think
Haynes King. Is it Haynes King? I'm sorry. Georgia Tech's quarterback. I forget. I know it's Haynes. So anyway, he's had a up and down kind of year, but if he's on his game, man, he's a good runner. He's a good athlete. If he can get outside the pocket, we've seen Miami had problems with athletic quarterbacks a little bit. So I don't know, man. Like
Jay Haynes is the.
Okay. I'm thinking of Haynes. Okay, because we also got a Jay Haynes ourselves. But
yeah.
I'm gonna go Yellow Jackets. I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna go Yellow Jackets this game.
They're definitely capable, especially the way Miami plays, how quick they play, and just kind of like all the flash and everything. So we'll see if they can keep it tight in the fourth, then that'll give them an opportunity. So let's go back here and look at.
Like I said, we do need Miami and or SMU to lose at least one conference game, and they got 3 apiece left, so anything's possible. We just saw a wild, chaotic weekend. There's always 1 or 2 of those every college football season that get you to your edge of your seat, like, oh, so and so beat so and so,
Yeah. Okay, so another game. I don't know if this is really gonna be much of a game, but Florida is playing Texas. It's definitely not the game of the week, but the game of the week, 3:30 game. Number 10 Georgia is playing number 16 Ole Miss.
Number 2.
Oh, what I say? Number 6.
Number 10 Georgia. I'm about to say the boys dropped down that far after beating Florida.
Number two Georgia is playing number 16 Ole Miss. Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite, so pretty close.
I'm gonna go with the Rebels on this one.
You think so?
I'm gonna go with the Rebels at this one. If we get that same inconsistency from bet this week, Ole Miss ain't playing it. They got too many athletes over there, and the way Jackson Dartman been slinging it.
Yeah, and they put some tape, some bad tape out there. They put some bad tape out there, man. So Georgia, they got a lot of film and a lot of breakdowns there in that offense, man. Carson Beck has not shown himself to be a former NFL quarterback. So
ETN got hurt last game as well, so we'll kind of see throughout the week what his extent is of that.
Yeah. So we'll see if Lane Kiffin can get him one against another Saban coach, man. What else do you see out here, Keys? I mean, you got Army taking on North Texas. I don't think that's going to be much of a game, but it's a 6-point favorite for Army.
There's nothing else that's really on the radar. I mean, Colorado at Texas Tech. I mean, that could be an interesting one. Texas Tech has got the upset over number 11, then number 11 tied with us, Iowa State. But I'm going to go with the Buffs on the road to get that W there.
Yep.
Other than that, man, it's just,
I don't know, man. This Vandy South Carolina game could be exciting. The quarterback down there at Vandy, man, he's real kind of Johnny Manziel Hollywoodish, but he's putting those students in the seats, man. So
yeah, I mean that could be a good one. I know Carolina might be riding a little high. They come up to blow in. They haven't really been there before, so that's what I'm saying. So it's when you get the highs and lows. So I'm gonna take Vandy. Yeah, I'm gonna take Vandy this game at home. The way they've been kind of playing, I'm going with Vandy.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting. South Carolina's only 3.5-point favorite, so that Vandy has definitely earned the respect. Man, Florida State is 1-8. I expect them to get washed again by Notre Dame, number 10 Notre Dame. It's bad out there.
Every week you see that number, it's crazy.
Yeah. After winning the ACC last year. So you got LSU, Alabama is going down into Baton Rouge, but Alabama's favored by a little under field goal. So
I'm gonna go Bayou Tigers in this one.
Okay. I don't normally side with Brian Kelly, man, but I think you might be right. I think this is, I think Alabama, they just not the same team. Not the same team. So of course you got Virginia and Pitt. Pitt just got washed by SMU, so
that game is of no consequence ACC wise to us anymore, at least.
Yeah. All right, man. So that is kind of the major games that we have this week on the slate. So shout out to the Tigers. Hopefully they can, just continue to win convincingly. But let's talk about this AP top 10 real quick, Keys. So Oregon 62 votes for number one, and that's probably because of Georgia's close game with Florida. Ohio State, they're number 3. They move up, take Penn State. Penn State only drops to number 6. I don't know. I mean,
that goes to show that this year there's no really like juggernaut. I mean, because Penn State, neither one of them look terribly impressive or overpowering. So I think, because I guess it was a touchdown game, so yeah, we ain't gonna drop them that far. So just look around them. Tennessee didn't move; they stay at 7.
Yeah.
So it's like there's really nobody, like we said last week. This whole top 10, it's like a big mesh pool.
Yeah. And we talked about some of the newcomers like BYU, Indiana. They're both undefeated, but do you really feel like they're threatening like a Georgia, a Oregon?
I don't. I mean, and we saw Texas get exposed a couple weeks ago. I think they'll bounce back with a big win against Florida this week. I mean, Florida's not Florida, but
yeah,
I think they'll bounce back. They only got one loss, so they got time. If we ain't got time to heal up, I think they'll be back up there in the top 3 mix in a couple weeks.
All right, man. So we'll see how this ACC shapes up. Got some real interesting games down there. SEC, Vanderbilt, and South Carolina. Definitely interested to see that one. Keys, really quick before we get out of here, man. Give me 2 keys to victory, man, that we gotta see here on Saturday, man.
For the Tigers.
Man.
We gotta get containment. We gotta create some kind of defensive pressure, or otherwise, what are we doing? You just let them sit back there. So I'll say number 1, get some defensive pressure, like we mentioned. Just stop the run. Can we do that?
Yeah.
You let guys, like I said, we haven't seen this in the Clemson defense, and I mean, like some Tommy West years or something. Like, I mean, guys running untouched. I mean, not even ain't even nobody grasping for air. Like, he just gone 50 yards. Like, so I want to see that, and let's get the ground game going early and popping. Yeah. Let's get some big holes in the offensive line early, so they can bring those safeties up in the box, and then we can. Wesco came back. I mean, he had some nice intermediate catches, but nothing that was a threat for them downfield. So I would say get the run game going first. And let's pop downfield, and defense. I mean, we've been saying it all year. We tired of it sound like a broken record.
Yeah, it's not looking great, man. It'd be great to get some sacks, right? Let's try to get to the quarterback, like he said. And one thing, I guess the other key I would say is, man, from a coaching standpoint, let's scheme it up, man. Let's scheme it up, and don't be gun shy, right? It's like you just say, hey, let's run Maffa until we can bring those safeties down. Sometimes you got to take a chance, man. Keep them honest.
Yeah. So we'll see with that. Like I said, we didn't create any turnovers at all either. So number 1, let's have some good protection on the special teams. Can we not get a field goal block?
Yeah.
Can we make some field goals? Can we be competitive to where we can put points on the board?
Yeah.
And where we're not having to go for it on fourth and goal from the 12 or something because you're scared we're gonna get our kicks blocked.
Good teams find a way to win, man. Even when you're down, man, you gotta win the game in the 4th quarter. But yeah, man. So you guys know where to follow us. We got all our social media handles down here. Also, if you're on our Instagram, you can go to the link tree. It'll get you to all of our social medias. But shout out to 7:30, the game, ESPN Charlotte. Go to ESPNCLT.com, search play THO, Uplayedtho. All of our podcasts will drop in. We post every Wednesday. But with that being said, Keith.
Yeah, follow us. Y'all seen it. And we out.